Okay friends, let's get started on our job. One of the first things we want to do is gain access behind this area. Open up your glove box, and then we're going to carefully grab onto it and lift it up and away from the dash. Now with that cover out of the way, we're going to continue on looking at this area. Down along the bottom, you're going to find two 10mm headed bolts. You can either use a 10mm or even a Phillips head. Now let's reach down underneath this area. Under here, you're going to find your computer. We're just going to grab onto it and carefully start pulling it down and away. Up along the top here, you're going to find that you have an area that the wiring harness is held onto this plastic area. Let's carefully grab onto these two tabs. You can either use your fingers or even use some pliers, squeeze them, and then press this down and out. Carefully set this aside. Now as I start tugging on this a little bit, you can tell that there's an area where the wires have a push tab and they go up into the plastic. Use a trim tool to separate it. Now with that out of the way, all the way along the back near the firewall, you have a clear view of your blower motor resistor. Now that we have that out of the way, I went ahead and I put a mirror underneath this area. Looking in the mirror, you can see all the way up underneath this to where the blower motor resistor is. It's up along the bottom here, and it's close to the firewall. Now, if you were to look at the wiring that leads to the blower motor resistor, closest to us, you're going to find a little squeeze tab. We want to squeeze that tab and carefully pull down the wiring. Once you have the electrical connector down, go ahead and take a peek at it. If you see any funny colors, it's probably corrosion. That would need to be dealt with. We'll set this aside. Now with the wiring off of there, have a look at the base of the blower motor resistor. You're going to find that you have two Phillips head screws. Remove the pair and then the resistor from the housing. There it is, friends. All right, let's go ahead and install our brand new blower motor resistor. Now looking at this blower motor resistor, you'll notice on one side, it has this area. On the other side, it's pretty flat. You want to make sure you have the arrow facing towards the driver's side. Let's take this and put it in position. There we are. Just kind of have to wiggle it around, try to get it around the wiring. Now we can start trying to put in our mounting bolts. You can start with whichever hole you want. You only want to start the bolts in. Once each of them are started, you can snug them up. Make sure it's nice and secure. Now we can reconnect our wiring to this. Listen for a click, give it a tug, make sure that's secure as well. Now we're going to start resecuring our computer. Let's start with the wiring. Put it up and over this area, and then make sure you latch it in so it's secure. Press that in there. Now we're going to take this and we're going to swing it into the proper position. Looking along this area, this would be considered the front. It's facing towards the front of the vehicle. It's a little push clip. You want to look down along the back here, find the area that it presses into, and slide it in as needed. Get that lined up, press it in. Now we can start lifting this up. Line up both of your mounting bolt holes. Once each of them are lined up, continue on by snugging them. Now we can put this piece on. This essentially is just going to slide over the computer And if you were to look inside this area, you're going to be able to find the slot where everything needs to line up. Let's go ahead and get that up on there. Press that one in. You can tell that side's locked in. I'll make my way over to the other side and do the exact same thing. This side's a little harder to see. All right, give it a little wiggle, make sure it's secure. Now we can continue on by putting on our glove box. Looking along the bottom of it, you're going to find that you have 4 hooks, 2 on either side. Looking down at the dash where it's supposed to line up with, you're going to find the areas that it needs to line up and press into. I'm going to get those hooks lined up in their corresponding areas. I'll press this up. Now I'm going to carefully drive it down, making sure that it's completely situated and locked in. Give it a little tug. Make sure it closes and opens properly. Okay friends, we got the car back together. The next thing you're going to want to do is put the key in the on position and test your blower motor on all speeds. Thanks for watching.